Hey guys, can you hear me now? I'm going to have a feeling that you can hear me now, but I'll wait until somebody tells me in the chat that they can hear me. And can you see me? They're not nearly as critical as can you hear me? Okay, so we're all good now. All right. Well, why don't I start this over so you can actually hear me and see me now? So, welcome to Surviving Together, all. I hope you're having a good Saturday. This is a safe space for sexual assault and other trauma survivors to get together and connect with one another on their healing journeys, as well as presenting trauma-related education for all who are interested. So, I hope that we're all good technical-wise now. Lord only knows. As you will hear, things didn't go as planned today. We had a slight change of topics. So if you were looking forward to hearing about how trauma affects men and women differently, you can tune in next Saturday for that. That will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm here every Wednesday, 6 p.m., every Saturday at 3 p.m. And tell you guys, the reason that that wasn't working technically wise before was because I forgot to hit live. I'm so used to hitting go live in my intro that I just hit the intro button and it played the intro. So I was like, woohoo, okay, here we go. And that didn't work out. So let's start over with the chat. How about that? We'll go back to the beginning here. All right. Who do we have? Kermel is here and he is not modding because he's not feeling the greatest. And Kermel, I hope that you feel better really soon. I hope that what they're doing for you is working and that you will be right as rain. Lacey Silver, I am so glad that you are here. It's long time no see. It was so good to connect with you the other night. And I love your name, Lacey Silver, Emotional Support Canadian. That is fabulous. And Tommy Stiggs is in the house. Thanks for listening. Thank you for dropping by. I hope you're enjoying your wrestling this week. I don't know if you made it to Atlantic City or not, but I hope all is well with you. And if you did, I hope your travels back go just as great. Let's see. We have Crystal. Crystal M. I hope you are doing well and settling into your new place. I know that you had a little bit of unpacking to do when we spoke on Wednesday. Hope that's going well. And Cosmic is in the house. Cosmic Connection. It is early, super duper early Sunday morning, I believe. I think that we got it down in time. So you're 15 hours ahead. And I keep having to just make that jump to the next day, which is still wild in my mind. Which reminds me, I think, are we going to go to 16 hours? Because Body Illusion, who I saw is here, thank you, Body, reminded me again that it is daylight savings time. Tommy reminded me on yesterday and this morning I saw Body Illusion, daylight savings time, which means for those of us in the United States who do still have daylight savings time, we are jumping ahead an hour. So, oh, no, since I'm going ahead, I think you're going to be 14 hours ahead of me instead of 15. We will have to test that theory. I think that's the way it's going to go for you, Cosmic. It's so confusing. I know, we still have it. That was going to be one of my reminders at the end of the thing. Guys, if you're in daylight savings time, before you go to bed tonight, set your clock 1 hour ahead. Let's see, who else do we have here? So Body Illusion stepped in after we had our technical difficulties, but I did see your name. Hope you're doing well, girl. I hope that you're feeling okay. Things are moving forward for you as well. So glad that you are home from the hospital and have gotten a few more lives and some shorts under your belt and are just doing well overall. Todd is here, House of Matrix Rabbit. We're so excited that you're going to start doing some of your resins soon. If you guys don't know, you can check out Todd's channel, House of Matrix Rabbit, and he does some beautiful resin artwork. And I actually purchased one of them for my son, the skull that he still adores. And I don't know if he ever got it mounted in his car like he was planning. It certainly is sitting on one of his, otherwise it's sitting on one of his shelves along with his other knickknacks that he loves to look at. Let's see, who else do we have here? I think that's everybody new. Deaudre Gore, thank you for being here. I hope you are having a wonderful evening. I hope you have settled into your new place as well. I know Janet won't be with us today, but she is sending her love to everybody. Hey, Shine, how are you doing? I am so sorry our topic is not as I discussed on your live the other day. As we said, things don't always go according to plan, and this they certainly didn't. So let's see who else is here, if anybody else has snuck in. Snucked? Like I just created a new word. Sneaked in. Jimena, hey, how are you doing? I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad that you are doing well, and hopefully you feel a great weight lifted off your shoulders after that fabulous live that you had last night. Mandy is in the house. Thank you for being here. Spring ahead, fall back. Yep, daylight savings time. And then somebody had to go and switch it around on me. And so ever since then, I was like, okay, which is it? Spring ahead, fall back, fall forward, spring back. No, spring ahead. We're springing ahead. Mandy, how are you doing today? Glad you are here. Oh, awesome, Crystal. Finally have a follow-up for your lupus, fibromyalgia, etc. Love it. Hey, Chris. Where one goes, there's the other. How you doing? How's Northern Canada treating you? It is cold here. Thankfully, the sun is shining, but it is old. So I know you guys have got to be freezing as well. All right. So what I'm hoping to do after today actually is to make a short video just on, hey, what are some things that we can do when things don't go as planned? I was researching today, this morning. I was getting some more things together. I was looking at some more specific studies for how trauma affects men and women differently, why that is the case. And I came across some videos that really spoke to me, and the floodgates kind of opened on me, and I lost it. Plain and simple. I absolutely lost it. And I'm not surprised. It's been an emotional week. I just didn't really recognize it as being an emotional week. My rational brain was winning out. I know that with my health issues, I've shared with you that I had my MRI on Monday. I told you guys about the results on Wednesday if you weren't here for that. Things are looking okay-ish. We're going to do a 6-month follow-up MRI for some potential spots on my left side, but they did find a spot on my right side, which they're a little concerned about in terms of wondering what it is, getting some more information. So on the 18th, we're doing a follow-up with an ultrasound, And if the ultrasound, which is a lot less sensitive than the MRI, can pick it up, then we're going to do an immediate biopsy. So after that, I was like, okay, this is what we've got. This is where we're going. More than likely, it is not cancerous, just because it it there's no indications at this point that it is. Um, Two specialist doctors were not able to feel this right spot. That's why I have not been concerned about this, about my right side at all. There was nothing that we were thinking was over there. However, there's some indication that this 1 centimeter spot may have some blood supply going to it, and they just want to check it out. So if it is, then we're going to move forward. Regardless, we're moving forward. We have to. There's no other choice. But we'll either have the biopsy right then, or if they can't find it, then we'll do a 6-month follow-up, which I'm doing on my left side anyway, for the MRI. So that's the plan. It's good having a plan. It made me feel comfortable. I know that even if it is cancer, the chances of me just getting away with a lumpectomy, taking that out, maybe some radiation afterwards, and the cure is fabulous. It's pretty much what my mother went through. She's 5 years cancer-free now. They don't anticipate any chance of it reoccurring. A reoccurrence is like 0.01% or something like that. It's extremely low, maybe 1%. So I was feeling okay, and my head was saying, this is nothing. This is nothing. And even if it's something, it's still nothing. Little did I know about all the feelings and emotions that were kind of percolating underneath the surface. And today, when I came across some information, it kind of, I don't know, the floodgates just kind of released on me, and just absolutely lost it. And I just couldn't continue on with my research today. So, not having the show in a place where I felt comfortable presenting the information, and that I was presenting everything that I wanted to get across to you guys, I chose to pivot and change topics. So sometimes doing something else can be the best thing for us. I realize now that I have been having a lot of emotions about this. I have pretty much eaten everything that is sugar related in my house, except for a package of gummy bears, which my stomach hates. I don't digest gummy bears very well anymore, and which really sucks because I love Albanese gummy bears. They smell like heaven. You can smell each and every, like you can take an individual gummy bear and just sniff it, and you're like, that's orange, or that's pineapple. I mean, it's amazing how that they're able to do that. And you can individually taste each and every flavor too, which is heaven. But my body does not like them. My stomach does not like them. So I ate both pints of ice cream. I ate upwards of over 3 days, maybe 10 donuts that my son brought up from his basement. The cat was responsible for eating a few of those, I have to say. I got maybe half of one, and he ate the other one. Well, he tried to eat the other one. He's like, oh, this is sweet. I don't want this. And he dropped it on the floor. Thank you very much. Waste of a perfectly good donut. So, yeah, gosh only knows how many pounds that I've gained this week. And when that realization came, the realization that I have no more pants that fit, I have no more bras that fit, because I have been slowly and steadily gaining weight over the past year, which I knew, but that was no big surprise. But just kind of okay, let's get dressed for the day and, get into something, and getting more and more pissed off about everything else. It was like, okay, PJ pants back on. Thank you very much. After 2 years of having the weight gone, I got rid of my entire closet. Literally, it was almost nearly a blank slate, and replaced it with clothes that fit. I thought, hey, I put it off for a couple of years thinking, I'm good. I've been able to keep it off this long. We're not going to have any problems. Let's get rid of the old stuff that's just begging to be back up there. And now I have no clothes to fit. I shouldn't say no clothes. I kept all my hoodies and sweatshirts, because those are just comfy being big. So I have those, thankfully. And I work from home. So things are good there. But yeah, I kind of fell apart this afternoon, early afternoon, and I couldn't get it back together again to save my soul. So we decided to pivot and said, let's make sure that I get something. I wanted to be able to still go live today, and life doesn't always go as planned. What can you do about it? Well, there's several things that you can, and I'm going to tell you what I've been doing, what I've been working on since I fell apart. And the first one was to allow myself to feel all of those feelings. I had to have a good cry about it. I know that that is my go-to when I'm feeling things, is I break down and I let the floodgates stay open, and I had a good cry about it and said, okay, now what? Now what? Um, Now what was pivoting, reevaluating my situation a little bit, and that was being able to present a different topic. So, what could I do from where we are right now? And that topic was just to present to you where I am and what I'm doing. And I'm hoping to put a short video out after this, either this afternoon or tomorrow, just kind of on a few things you can do when things don't go your, I won't say go your way, but when things don't go as planned. And first and foremost, acknowledge what you're feeling. Name those feelings. If it's anger, okay, be angry. Give yourself that time and that space to feel it. I wasn't so much angry as I was just upset. Everything seemed to be falling apart. I, like I said, I wasn't fitting into my clothes. I haven't been working as much as I've wanted to for a whole host of reasons. My health, first and foremost, amongst them. So finances have been an issue. Um, I realized I didn't change my estrogen patch when I should have. Um, so thankfully, being on that has helped a lot. That's kind of gotten some things under control with emotions and menopause symptoms, hot flashes, night sweats, things of that nature. So that's been, that has been a positive. But also with eating all this sugar, one of the videos that I came across was giving information as to kind of how cancer cells grow. What feeds cancer cells is sugar, basically. Um, and I realized all the sugar that I eaten this week. And it's like, well, hell, if I didn't have cancer then, maybe I've got it now because I've just fed the shit out of all of these cells this week. And I had to realize that, there's a potential that may have done some damage. Probably not. 3 days worth of eating a whole bunch of sugar is not going to have changed, the whole course of any potential cancer that I have. But in the moment of having those floodgates open, it just really was kind of another nail, for me in, oh shit, of everything that's wrong, and my project is over, so I'm looking for more work, which of course then that leads into the financial stress and financial strain. I know that something always pops out, But again, in that moment when you're looking at everything that's not right, logic doesn't win out. Logic went out most of this week for me. And it wasn't until I had a little bit of work to finish up this morning for a project. I got that done, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're all done now. Let's get on to our research, go on to our research, and bum, yeah, then everything fell apart. So feel your feelings and give yourself the grace and time and space to be able to have that. Um, I should say, give yourself the time and the space to have it, and give yourself grace that it's not harmful. It's actually very helpful that we feel our feelings. As Crystal's saying, to the point, you wish you could just fall apart and let it all out. And some people aren't very good at feeling feelings. Um, there are those of us, because of our past trauma, because of the way we were raised, because of cultural implications, or I should say, cultural influences, or the environments in which we were raised, it was never safe being able to let out those emotions. Um, it's always been my go-to to feel them and to let them out to my detriment. So I have always kind of gone the other way with things. Hey, Tuber Chat, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping in. I totally meant to get to your channel this week, and I was not able to. So I'm hoping on Sunday to be able to finally make another live. I was there about a week ago, I think. A week ago past Monday. Oh, it's almost 2 weeks now. If you guys haven't seen Tuber Chat before, he's a channel who it's a place where a lot of different channels can come together and connect, smaller channels. So great networking space. Seventh, I saw you come in. Nice. The seventh son of Steve-O. I'm glad to see that name. How are you doing, Seventh? I hope that you're doing really well today. And Tuber Chat, I don't actually know your real name, so I can't call you out by name. So we're just going to say Tuber Chat for right now. Okay, so what else am I doing? What else can you do? Well, practicing gratitude. As I said, I know that it's probably not cancer. Even if it is, my chance of survival is near 99%. I will have caught it extremely early. Probably would have a lumpectomy just like my mom, do some radiation. She's 5 years cancer free. I have no concerns. So there's a wonderful, wonderful thing from that. And really it's not a false sense of security. It's just where the science is at this point. So I'm extremely grateful for that. I'm grateful for my job. I'm grateful for the opportunities that I have with my job. And even though I'm done with the project now, I know that there are potentially things on the horizon. I know that something always shakes out in regards to my job. And as long as there's a project there, I can work as many hours as I possibly can for that project. The hormone replacement therapy is helping with my focus. And I've been able to work a little bit more each week. And I think when we get, so I've had 1 month of hormone replacement right now. I think when we get another cycle, another full month under my belt, I'm hoping to feel back to where I was before my menopause symptoms really kind of hit. I'm not in menopause yet. I'm still considered perimenopause, but I was having hot flushes, not flashes. I wasn't getting quite as hot, but definitely flushes where I'd be feeling the heat. The night sweats had certainly come on. Emotional dysregulation had been rearing its ugly head. Um, so it definitely has been helping. And I am so grateful to have found Dr. Diana Bittner. She's absolutely amazing. She's written a whole book about aging well through menopause. And I'm incredibly grateful to have found her and the recommendations that she has made on to the people who are dealing with my breast issues right now. Thankfully, there is a um, grant that I'm going to be calling on here on Monday. If I qualify for that grant, it will pay for all of my imaging that I've had thus far, any future imaging that I have. I am considered a little higher risk because I do have my mom having breast cancer. It will pay for all of the doctor's visits. So anything that is related to my breasts and any issues, the grant will pay for. So we're hoping that that turns out well and that I qualify for that. I know that in order to do that, I'm going to have to get my taxes done. So that is certainly on my agenda for tomorrow. Thankfully, mine aren't extremely complicated. And I know my son wanted me to look over his before he submitted his as well. And that will be a project in and of itself on Monday, but definitely going to be doing that. Hey, Mark, how are you doing? I'm so glad you're here. I hope things are going well for you. Good evening to you. What else I'm grateful for is my support system. And that's something else you can do when things don't go your way is to turn to your support system, which I certainly am. You guys are a huge part of that. It's why I didn't want to miss this live. This is not a woe be me session. And that's why I wanted to make it about something a little bit bigger than me, and maybe that there are things that you can take from it. Um, Also, within my gratitude, my support system, I have my parents, I have my son, I have some friends who are near and dear to my heart. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of them. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. You guys are truly one of the core of my support system. And even when I'm not feeling it, when I go live, I feel better for it. Just knowing that having this space is helping somebody, and by being able to do that, so giving back, giving something of myself makes me feel good, makes me feel better than you can possibly imagine. And I know that when I hit end stream here today, I'm going to take a few deep cleansing breaths like I am right now. And I know that things are going to be okay. They may not be where I want them to be, but things will be okay. So lean on your support system, whoever that is, wherever you find them. Online relationships can be certainly just as real and as important to people as ones that we have where we can see the person in person. Hey, Deborah, how you doing? Glad you're here today. Hope you're doing well today. Seven says there's quite a few people in the community that are dealing with breast issues. It's not surprising. Just the number of people I know within our community who deal with who are dealing with health issues overall. And so part of my gratitude is that what I'm dealing with, I know is curable. At the worst case scenario, if it is cancer, I know that it's curable and that I'm still going to be alive this time next year to celebrate anniversary number 2. I'm incredibly lucky that way. And I know that there are some other people who are facing much more daunting diagnoses or potential diagnoses who are kind of in limbo land waiting for that to see what it is. And if it isn't, still, where do we go from here? So, hugs and love to every single one of you out there who needs them, whether it's for health issues, whether it's for other personal reasons. I give you, I give you my heart. You guys already have it. Email me if you need somebody to reach out to, SurvivingTogether, SASS at gmail.com. And I will answer every single email that I possibly can, which at this point they're not very many. So I can get to pretty much everybody. It's just following up. Sometimes I forget that I've read an email and that I didn't actually answer it. So I have to key myself in order to do that. Uh, I definitely am getting better at it. I think I've caught up with everybody thus far. However, if you have received or if you've sent an email and I have not responded to you yet, please, please, please resend it. At one point, I had somebody saying that they had sent me like 3 and I had never gotten any until the very last. So I think I'm caught up, but again, let me know. Hey, Firefly, how are you doing tonight? Joined at the right moment. Not sure exactly what that means, but if you're going through anything and you need the hugs and love, I'm sending them out. Sending you out. Sorry, I'm just reading through the chat real quick. Okay, so feel your feelings. Give yourself the time and space to do it. Give yourself grace that falling apart is okay. What we don't want to do is be stuck. So we need to feel our feelings and then kind of let go of them and say, okay, now what? The now what for me was reevaluating my situation, my immediate situation, which was I'm supposed to go live in less than 2 hours. I'm not ready on the subject I was going to do. What now? My what now is to pivot and say, okay, well, let's make a topic out of this. Practice gratitude. What are the good things in your life? And hold on to those tightly. Fourth, move forward a little bit. How do we move forward? Well, what's in our control? Because there's a lot of things that when things don't go our way, when things go wrong, they don't go as planned. There are a lot of things that they happen for other reasons than anything we could have done about it. Maybe somebody canceled on you. Maybe the diagnosis wasn't what you had hoped for. What can I control in this situation? Well, there were a number of things actually. One of them was I'm starting my water fast today. It was, of course, after my coffee. And yes, I'm doing an energy drink just so that I could kind of get through this afternoon. But other than that, it's a water fast. We're going to do a 3-day water fast. We're going to reset my body a little bit. I always feel better once I get through that. I am going to be taking my friend David's flu bomb, which really is just kind of an immune booster. But I tell you, my gut feels awesome once I take it. It's a combination of ginger and garlic and see what else goes into it. A little hot pepper and some eucalyptus oil and lemon, and chug it all down. And boy, it's not the best. I certainly wouldn't be, I'm not chewing on that garlic at all. I'm just swallowing it all whole. But my stomach loves it. And as we spoke in one of my most recent lives, that works for me. Whether it would work for you, it would do you well. It won't do you any harm, certainly. But as to how good you'll feel on it, will you feel as good as I do when I take it? I don't know, because we are individuals and our guts are individuals, and not everything's going to affect us the same. But that's what I can do. That's one of the things that I can do. The other thing I can do is I calendared my changing of my estrogen patch. It's supposed to be changed every 3 to 4 days. And I didn't calendar it because I've had experience doing 3-day patches before. It was when I was on a fentanyl patch. However, I very much knew when I was on that third day of the fentanyl patch. The first day, it was, you're getting all that brand new fentanyl in your system. And I could do anything. So if I had projects that needed to get done, if I had house cleaning that needed to get anything that I needed energy for and needed to be able to not be stuck in lackadaisical mode, I was scheduling that for the first day, or by worst, morning of the second day. Morning of the second day, I was like, and by day 3, it was, I was really feeling that down. I just don't want to do a whole heck of a lot. And it's, the pain is still controlled, but, in terms of feeling like doing anything, motivation out the window, and knew that time for me to put on a new patch the next day. With the estrogen patch, the changes are more subtle. So I hadn't really realized it until I woke up this morning. I shouldn't say that. When I got done having my cry, I went, oh, it's time to change my patch, because I should have changed that Thursday, Friday morning at latest. I meant to do that. I really meant to do that. I actually had it in my head to change it next time I went into the bathroom, because that's what all the, everything's kept, and it didn't happen. And then realized, that's why my bra was absolutely soaked when I got up this morning. While my clothes, I had night sweats. Okay. So I have calendared myself. So every Tuesday and every Friday, I will be changing my patch. And it's in my calendar with a notification. So when I check my phone in the morning, it's going to say change your patch. When I go in to take my morning meds, boom, I'm going to be doing that. So that was another thing that I could do. And that's going to help me stay emotionally regulated, because just the hormonal changes wreak havoc on your system, as any man or woman can attest to. I'll sleep better because I'm not dealing with the night sweats. I didn't sleep real great last night, and I didn't realize at the time I was dealing with the night sweats. So that's something else that I can do, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we are a month from now, having been on it 2 months at that point in time, just to see in general, my focus is coming back. Has it come back to where it was before I started feeling all of these perimenopause symptoms? We'll see. We'll see. Hey, Guy, how you doing? Creating Change is here, guys. And his first name is Guy, so if you wonder why I'm saying that, I think that him and I are talking, and Guy, I did send you an email, just a side note, with some ideas for some topics. So check that out. Get back with me. Let me know what you think. And based on what you have to say, we will schedule a time. Guy is going to be a guest here on the channel, and we're discussing topics for what we might want to talk about. Thanks, Carmel. You're not supposed to be modding today. Thanks for dropping this link in there. Crystal asks, what's the difference between a patch and pills for HRT? Well, I honestly don't know. What I can tell you is pills, you're going to take, your body's going to ingest, and in general, and I don't know the specifics in regards to HRT. I only know what my mom was on, and she had a pill she took every day. It's the same reason I got on the patch, because your body is constantly 24/7 getting your medication. You're not going through this, I'm ingesting it, it's going through my body, and eventually it works itself out. So at some point you're going to hit a low with that. With the patch, eventually that medicine in the patch is going to run out, and so that's when you're going to hit your low with this. But in the meantime, your body is getting the consistent medication, and so it keeps you much more even. Are there pills that would be extended release? Possibly. I don't know that for sure, but the point of that would be to mimic more of like a patch effect, keeping your body going with the same amount of medication throughout a 24-hour period. I like the patches. I don't have to remember to take another. I take enough pills as it is between supplements and, just my regular medication. Adding another pill to it was the last thing I wanted to do. But my doctor herself has been on the patch for quite a long time and has loved it. And there's different levels of medication that we can, try out depending on how I feel with it. So there's different places to go. So in a nutshell, that's my understanding in regards to the difference between the pills and the patch. And this patch it's itty bitty. It is maybe an inch by half an inch. So it's real small. You just put it somewhere on your stomach, area. It's just one kind of an easy way. You can also put them on shoulders or your lower backs on the sides, someplace where your clothes aren't going to be rubbing it a whole lot, where you're not going to be interfering with it. My biggest thing is I have to remember I have it when I'm in the shower and scrubbing. But even when I've done that, it has not come off, which is a big change with my fentanyl patches, because I had to put waterproof patches over films over my patch to ensure that it stayed in the shower. Otherwise, it definitely would lose the adhesive to that. Yeah, I did mock. Dr. Bittner is a specialist in menopause and women's issues in general. And I wasn't on a whole lot of supplements other than taking glucosamine chondroitin and D3. And both of those she was 100% in favor of having. She's also in favor of a calcium supplement at this time in my life. And if I don't want to actually take a calcium supplement, she said, chew 3 Tums. You get as much calcium in those. If I'm not getting it from dairy or cheese, she said those are the ways which she recommends getting them. And the reason being is because the calcium in those also have good probiotics that are good for your gut. So you're kind of getting double duty. And a multivitamin, just a standard multivitamin. And she's like, take a regular multivitamin or take the gummies, doesn't matter which, just do that and you're kind of covered. And I was taking a B complex, but she's like, the multivitamin should be just fine unless we're finding other issues. And the reason I was doing B complex was because of focus and mental issues and emotional issues and things like that, which I think the estrogen patch is taking care of those. I've also taken a little bit of progesterone as well, which I take at night, and that helps with sleep and focus the next day. I've been playing with that a little bit because, again, different levels that you can take make me a little bit tired, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, getting myself on a schedule with my estrogen, making sure, because this is not the first time I failed to change it in time, and I've noticed something kind of on the 4th day and gone, oh, I should have changed that. So we calendared it for ourselves. I have pulled up, my doctor's office actually started doing weekly meal plans as well, and pulling up different things within there because I hate having to plan myself. Otherwise, I tend to cook the same types of things with just a little variety on how I'm doing them. And I want a little bit more, getting a little bit more out of a meal and the things that they add in that you don't notice but are good for your body. So I've been looking at those emails and the resources that are in on their website as well. So those are things that I can do for myself that I'm in control of. And I know that I feel better for it, knowing that I'm moving forward in some sort of positive way. I'm also going to be sending out some emails in regards to work, that I'm available for work. The current place that I work for may have some things on Monday, but they may not. So it does not hurt to let other places that I've worked for know, hey, I'm available for work. I can start a new project if they've got something. I had put my hat in for a particular project I was really hoping to get. It was a fairly high paying project, which is why I'm guessing they had a lot of people responding to it and trying to figure out. I've done some work for this company before. I'm trying to figure out a way to get my name maybe towards the top of the list next time something like this comes up, to where I can be considered sooner rather than later. But even though I didn't get the position, or at least I haven't heard thus far, which is kind of how it goes with them. They'll contact you if you're chosen. And it was a tentative start, actually. So there's a possibility that, they still may call me. Who knows? But when I got it, I was right in the middle of doing stuff. I was right in the middle of cramming with a previous project I was doing. We were working late into the night. And I said, wouldn't you know it? And I didn't have the time to stop and send my resume out, make sure my resume was updated, little things that I've done as of late that should have gotten on it. But as soon as my project ended, I went straight to my computer. I looked at my resume, I added some things, and I shot it off. So that I felt good about. And that was a big thing for me because in the past I would have just gone, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. But knowing that there were going to be a lot of people vying for this position, the sooner I got it in, the better chance I had. So that I did do it that day versus the next day, that was a big step for me. That was a really big step for me. So I'm proud of myself for that. It's a marked change over things that have happened in the past. Hey, Misha, how you doing? Get some sleep, girl. Misha and I have been working on a new intro. I should say editing our current intro. It's not going to look too terribly different, keeping the song because I love it, but just doing some different things with it. And I did get your email. I thought I had responded versus one that I hadn't. And I'm not actually sure this morning whether I responded or I just thought, oh, I need to respond. So, Misha, I will look at that as soon as I get off of here and send that out if I have not. Did anyone else sneak in on me? I don't think so. I don't think so. Carmel, if you can, if not, don't worry about it. I will do it at the end. If you could put at Shindig down in a link to his channel as well. Guy and Shine go live every day from 11 to 1 Eastern time or 10 to 1 Eastern time. And they do the show together, sometimes apart, sometimes together. But Shine also has his own separate channel. And this is a lot about music, you guys. So if music soothes your soul, definitely check them out. Please, please, please. Practice what you preach. Self-care, that is for certain. Yes. and get some rest. Okay. I know everyone has kind of been through the ringer this past few weeks if you were a part of a certain community, and hopefully things can start moving forward now for a lot of people. Monday through Friday, 10 to 1 Eastern Standard Time, Creating Change with Guy and Shine. So check them out if you guys are into some music. What else? What else did I want to talk today about? Well, feeling gratitude. In in and amongst my feeling of gratitude, I like I said, I'm grateful for this channel. I'm grateful for the connections that I've made through these channels, Creating Change being one of them, and Shine Day. And one of the connections that I made through them is with a channel called Big Jack's Storytime. So as it turns out, next month, April 16th at 7 p.m., it's a Wednesday, I will be live on his show. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to be talking about as yet. He's to email me some questions. I think he's going to check out my channel, check out some of the things that I do over here, and put some things together. So as that gets closer, I'll let you know. So whatever that show is that Wednesday for me, since I'll be on the hour before that, we'll be keeping it to an hour. Did I mention? You mean crafting? Nope, that's going to be at the end, Crystal. That's going to be at the end. So I will definitely mention it though. Crystal Phoenix is in the house. Thank you so much for being here. I am glad you are dropping in here today. One of the other things I have to be grateful for, and I will put the link in the description below. There is an organization that deals with trauma called SAPREA. It's SAPREA, and they're at saprea.org. If you are interested in trauma-related things, they've got a lot of information over there, resources. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that they've done. All you have to do is put in SAPREA, and their videos on all sorts of domestic violence, sexual assault issues come up. They run a 4-day retreat, though, that deals with all things trauma, from dealing with trauma to connecting with other survivors to experiential things such as yoga and Tai Chi and, um, what to do, education, you name it, it's trauma related. They're going to cover it in this 4-day retreat. And I just received the news on Tuesday afternoon that I've been accepted to their 4-day program. It is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me. The knowledge that I get from this, I'm so excited about. It is paid through their donations. I just have to get myself to Salt Lake City. So I'll be looking at flights to kind of see how much that's going to be for me before I pick a date. They've got several different dates to choose from for the retreats. And I will be heading out to Utah for a 4-day retreat. So I could not be more excited about it. I know I don't sound like it right now just because it's been a day already, but I can't wait. And the opportunity that this provides me, not only to connect with other survivors, but the information that I'll be gleaning from there is stuff that I will be bringing back to all of you. With this retreat, they also have a 6-week online course afterwards that they continue to delve deep into trauma-related topics. So that is part and parcel of the whole program. And again, everything that I learn is only going to make this channel better, whatever I can do for you guys. So it's not only for me, but it's for what I can bring to you. And there's also a 4-hour webinar that I need to do before I even go out. So there's just so much information. I'm going to be on information overload, I can guarantee it. But I can't really explain to you what this means to me. And I hadn't told anybody that I'd even applied because I didn't know what the chances were of being able to go. And um, I my emotions are still really on the surface today, guys. So I'm extremely excited about it. Anyone can apply. There is the application is on their website. So all you have to do is go to sapria.org if it's something that you're interested in. Transportation is your only cost getting out there. The 4-day retreat goes a Monday through Thursday, and they run them several times a month throughout the year. So if you are interested, whether it's for the retreat, applying for the retreat, or for just the other resources that they have, I encourage you to check out sapria.org. And I will definitely be including them in the resources portion of our videos descriptions from now on. Hey, Janet, just dropping in for a few. Well, thank you for taking the time out. It's actually .org, Misha. So don't go to .com because I don't think you're going to get there, but it's sapria.org, but you did get the Sapria part right. So there we go. Yep, sapria.org. Incredible organization. And that they're able to do this for so many survivors is just incredible. Janet, I hope you're doing well. I hope you were having a great time. I hope your travels were smooth last night. And it's like I can reach out and touch you, but you're still 5 hours away. But it's closer than what, 15 hours or something like that by car to where you're from, to Alberta. But you are a lot closer. So I hope your mom's doing well. Give her a hug, a big squeeze for me. All right. Charlotte, if you're listening, hugs and love to you, Charlotte. Her mom had turned 95 this year, guys, 95, and she started taking piano lessons. So just goes to show you are absolutely never too old to learn something. Keep learning. It keeps you young. And she is a living example of it. She's loved learning all her life, and she's still kicking at 95. So I can only hope that I make it to that age. So that really was the last of it. One final announcement, though, that I do have for today. Crystal and I will be doing our second craft day. I think I saw Body Illusion said that you just finished your shirt for the clothesline project, which is awesome. Just take a picture of it, send it to me with clothesline project in the subject line for me. I greatly appreciate that, and we'll include it with our other submissions. We are accepting submissions through this month, okay, till April 1st. And all you need to do is make a t-shirt, send a picture of it, boom, you're done. What is the Clothesline Project? Well, if you don't know, the Clothesline Project was originally created an organization out of Massachusetts. Most often it is done as a real life art installation. And it is all about breaking the silence behind sexual and domestic violence. We're expanding it a little bit to include mental health as well, just all mental health within ours. And it's about speaking your truth, whether that's the truth as a survivor or your truth as a supporter of people who have suffered from trauma in their past. Take a t-shirt and write your truth on it. You can see the last crafting video that Crystal and I did. You could see the t-shirts that we created then. I just took some markers on a t-shirt that I had in my closet. This is not an expensive project, guys. This is just about getting the word out. And since we can't hang these t-shirts out on a line like most people do, we're doing it as a virtual clothesline. And so we will be presenting everything on Saturday, 3 p.m., April 18th, which is actually National Hangout Day, meaning hang out your laundry. So hanging your t-shirts out on the clothesline. I thought it was perfect. And body lotion, I was thinking of you when I was doing this. I'm like, okay, what's going on in April? I know it's Sexual Assault Awareness Month. What else have we got? And I came across National Hangout Day and I said, boom, it's Saturday too, to boot. It's one of my live days. Could not have been more perfect in timing. So we'll be presenting a virtual slideshow, as well as probably putting them all together kind of like just on a single page so that you can view them, which will be in the community posts too. If you're interested in learning more about the Clothesline Project or seeing examples of other t-shirts people have done, I do have a post on the community tab on my channel. What says Clothesline Project, and I've got a lot of different pictures that I've chosen. And it can be something from your past as a survivor. There's some specific truth that you want to speak to. It can be as general as, hey, love is kind, hands don't hit. Something basic of that nature. Whatever it is, just make it from the heart. Okay? Take an old t-shirt, turn it inside out. If you're something you still wear around the house and you don't want, hands don't hit on the back of it. Turn it inside out. Do something that way. All right. Again, markers work just fine. I know some people have decorated with stickers and glitter and, get as creative as you want. And you can do it virtually as well. Since we're a virtual platform, make it with a graphics program. Make it with the help of an AI program. Does not matter. Take some clip art that you like and paste it into a virtual t-shirt and call it good. Screenshot it or send me the clip of it, however you want to get it to me. Just get it to my email. If it's a video that you want to do, a short video holding up your t-shirt, you can do that as well. We just ask that you keep it to 15, 30 seconds, something of that nature, short time period. Hey, Hollywood, what's going on? So happy to have you here this afternoon. I hope that your day is going well. Janice says, my mom is my inspiration. She's been playing piano all her life. Oh, I thought she had just started. No, she was just doing lessons. Okay. And you're the newbie, right? Okay. I sucked as a kid too. I have a feeling even if I was doing it now, I'd still suck. My hands my brain does not want my hands to do two different things at once. So if I'm doing this with this, it does not want this to be going like this at the same time. I can't. It's why I couldn't do, drums. I could probably do drums easier than I could piano, is my guess. But anything where independently my two hands need to be doing things, it doesn't work very well for me. My brain is much, much, much more analytical. That is where my strength lies. So our second, I didn't even announce it yet. So March 22nd, which is a Saturday, at 1 p.m. Eastern will be our next crafting day. It will be our second and our last crafting day. So join us. If you just want to hang out with us, Crystal and I both will be crafting t-shirts again. You can craft right along with us, or you can just hang out and talk to us and see what we're doing. But we will be going at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is going to be before my regularly scheduled live. I will still have my live at 3 p.m., but we'll just do the crafting. Last time we did it on a Sunday, so today, this time we're going to do it on a Saturday. And I will post that as well, probably do an addendum to the clothesline post. I know Crystal's going to put some shorts out announcing it. I'll be announcing it every time we have a live from now until then. And I did just make a thumbnail. Oh yeah, that's why guitar too is real difficult for me. You guys, Shine, anybody else out there who plays guitar, more power to you. I bow down to you. I think it's amazing. Anybody who can learn musical instruments. I did the clarinet as a kid, not extremely well, but my brain was able to handle that a little bit better than anything else. Cosmic says I'm learning the ukulele and I suck at it. That's okay. it's about learning. It's truly keeping your mind young is about the learning process and everything that goes into that, right? It's straight science, everything that goes into it. When you stop learning, when your body stops moving, this is when we start to decay truly. So the more we can keep moving, the more strength training, keeping that muscle mass, because we lose muscle mass significantly after we turn 40, the more that we can do that way, and the more ways we can um, exercise our minds, the stronger that we will be going into our 50s, our 60s, our 70s, and beyond. So, speaking of Cosmic, I did make a thumbnail for Wednesday's live. At this point, Cosmic is going to be my guest. So, as long as everything works out, I know it's sometimes a little tricky. She's in Australia, we're here. So, again, things don't always go according to plan. And if it falls through, then I'll just pivot and we'll have another topic to talk about and we'll do it again. But at this point, Christy will be with us talking about trauma. Exactly what, I'm not sure. We've got a couple of different ways we can go with this, so we'll see. There'll be when I have a better idea, I will definitely be putting that in the video description, in the thumbnail description of Wednesdays. At this point, it just says guest Christy Cosmic Connection. So we will absolutely have something on Wednesday at 6, but at this point, we're planning on having Christy as a guest. So I hope you guys tune in for that. It should be a really great discussion. She's a phenomenal woman. She has her channel as well. I think it's, I'm going to get this, at Christy Robinson 1979. I might be a little bit off on that, but I think if you put at Christy Robinson and it's Christy with a Y, you will come up with it. It's either 1979 or 79, and that's Christy's channel. And she is someone who has been through a lot of trauma in her life, and she has come out the other side, and she is working on a project now that is near and dear to her heart. And this is somebody who has walked through fire and is coming out the other end and stronger for it, and someone I admire a lot. So I hope you guys do tune in on Wednesday and join me for that conversation. It should be a really, really interesting one. Mox says, just started singing again, got over the fear of sucking. Now your voice changed a little bit from when you used to sing. Yeah, I love to sing. However, I have been told that I sing well. I've been in chamber choir in college, and not everybody got chosen for chamber choir. So I can sing to some degree, but then I've also had people say, oh my gosh, you sound like a screeching hamster. Please, 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 God, stop. So I don't know. Maybe I can only sing classical Baroque music. Maybe that's where my strengths lie versus me trying to sing modern rock. Maybe that's where I'm screeching. I'm not really sure. Plus, it does with singing. You find your niche a little bit. I mean, definitely, I can sing folk music better than I can sing hard rock. I'm never going to be a metal singer, right? That's just not in me, for one. But also taking a song and being able to sing it in your range. So having to adjust that. And one of the big things for me when I sang, I was like, oh my God, I sound nothing like that. I can't make the song sing like it is. Well, you know what? I'm not going to sound like them because I'm me. My voice isn't similar to that person. It's similar in tonality and the range to a lot of folk music, which is why it sounds better to me. But there are other songs that I know that I can sing fairly well, but I sing them vastly differently. So you wouldn't listen to me and go, "Oh my gosh, that's a perfect cover." No, it's going to be a lot different because that's where my voice is comfortable and that's what I can do. And I had to realize that different doesn't mean bad. That's something that we all, I think, have to realize over time. Something that as kids, different, when we're first growing up as kids, different's just different. But it's something, at some point, different means not okay. Different means outside of. There's this want to fit in and be like everybody else and be with your peers. Some people don't go through that, but majority of us do. Hopefully in high school or thereafter, we come into our own and realize that I'm okay just the way I am. Yeah, I'm different than you are, but that doesn't mean that I'm worse or that I'm not don't have value. I'm just different than you are. And something every neurotypical has to come to the acceptance of. Yeah, my brain works differently than yours, but it doesn't mean that I'm any less worthy of existence. It doesn't mean that I can't add value to this world, be a productive member of society. I just go about it a little bit differently. Um, so I hope that if you are someone who's still struggling with being different, realize that it's okay because we're all different. We are all unique. There are common threads amongst us. And that commonality is what allows us to connect to another human being. But we are all different. Oh, that's absolutely awesome. I gotta put this up. Cosmic says I have a talent for cabaret. I get the words wrong, but I make up my own comedy songs when I do karaoke. I absolutely love that. I'm not that quick on my feet generally with humor, um, unless it's one-on-one with my friends generally. Okay, Mock says I was trained as a soprano, but my voice changed and it made the soprano part go away. Yeah, I I when I used to take lessons religiously, I could do soprano. I sang Aquarius once, and as you know, there's a lot of high parts in that song. Um, but my voice really is a second soprano, or a high alto. Um, but as I'm getting a little bit older, I'm realizing that my high alto is going away somewhat, and I'm able to reach some notes, some lower notes that I hadn't been able to before. So it's very interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Firefly says, I think yesterday was DID Awareness Day, which dissociative identity disorder, or what used to be known as multiple personalities. And that's what that stands for. Crystal says, I've learned that I need to do things for me and not care about what other people think about what I do as long as I'm not hurting anyone. Absolutely. Oh, it says, oh no, it was on the 5th. Well, it was still this week. Still this week. Being true to ourselves has got to be one of the most difficult things, I think. And this goes back to, I talk a lot about we talk a lot about boundaries, and I always say know yourself, because if you don't know yourself, you don't know how to set your boundaries, or the boundaries that you set aren't going to be those solid brick walls that you want them to be. They're going to be more movable, and you're more easily swayed. And so it is important for all of us to look inside ourselves and say, who am I? Who am I? What do I do? What do I like to do? What can I do? What can't I do? You know, there's things I can't do. There's things that I'll never do, whether it's for a desire, whether it's because of financial reasons, whatever. But this is why we can lean on each other, and why community is so great. Because where I have a strength in one aspect, somebody else has a strength in another. And I know my channel, I know myself, and I know that I'm good at this. I'm good at researching. I'm good at providing education. I'm good at talking. Editing videos, not my forte. So as my channel grows, I know that I'm going to have to rely on those people around me who are good at it. Now I can learn. Will I ever be as good at it as somebody else? Potentially. But there's also a creative aspect with that some people can put together and they can just go, you know what, this looks better or this sounds better. It takes a lot of conscientious effort for me to do that. So I rely on the people who can do that with ease. And there's nothing wrong with that. So if there's something you need researched, come to me. I'm good at it and I love it. But I certainly am not going to be playing you a song on the ukulele or the guitar or the piano anytime soon. Maybe I'll sing something for you. Maybe. I have to get a different microphone though. Because I did actually try one time and the microphone, I have a great Yeti microphone. For this, it's perfect. But for picking up singing and all the tones, it just does not work. So I'll have to have something different. So we'll see. Yeah, everything on our body drops and lowers, right? Our voices, gravity just affects it all, right? Oh my goodness. You did. I hope your mother appreciates you, girl. If you drop glitter everywhere in my room, as my brother says, glitter is the herpes of the crafts world. It's ubiquitous and it just doesn't go away. There's no cure for it. You can't vacuum it up. Guy, now I say, I have to get a microphone for it, Guy. I can't sing yet. I have to get a microphone. Which I haven't gotten a new camera yet. I had some donations that came in, and I was planning on getting a new camera. Maybe I'll have to get a new microphone instead with that. We'll see. We'll just have to see. Oh, last announcement before I go, guys. In case you haven't seen this little pink blurb in the upper corner, this is going to be on here for the next year because that was what was agreed to when I agreed to accept my finalist nomination for the Women Changing the World Awards in the category of Women in Journalism and Media. I was chosen as a finalist earlier this month. They will be doing the awards ceremony on April 3rd. That's going to be 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. London time. So Flick, I don't think you're in here right now, but for anybody who's over in that part of the world, it's going to be, I believe, wait a minute, I got that time wrong. It's 1:30 their time, which means 8:30. Ooh, I thought it was going to be 11:30. I better change my post. That's going to be 8:30 in the morning to 11:30 in the morning on April 3rd, Eastern Standard Time. That's when the awards ceremony will be. And I will not be in London for that. I will but they are streaming it through their Facebook page, and I'm hoping to be able to then stream it through here. Right now, Facebook and I are in a little bit of a disagreement over me having an account. So we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I may just connect with another creator who has a Facebook account that's working, and we'll stream it through there. But I am hoping to stream the awards ceremony live. Don't know, don't care if I win. I'm just honored to be amongst one of the finalists and with the women who have done amazing things, written books and started magazines and just incredible things. There is Women Changing the World. It's wcwawards.com if you want to see all the finalists and check them out in not only my category, but in all the other categories. They also did do a LinkedIn post if you're on LinkedIn. So WCW Awards, they put all of us 12 together for that. I forgot about daylight savings time. So it's actually going to have to be, it's going to be 9:30. It's going to be 9:30 to 11:30 because we're going an hour ahead tomorrow. So instead of 5 hours ahead for Eastern, they're only going to be 4 hours ahead of us. Yeah. Okay. So after today, it'll be 4 hours. All right. Tommy Stiggs, you wondered why it was such an issue for people. It's for people like me that have to deal with different time zones that it's an issue. Just changing myself one day to the next, no, not a big deal. It's dealing with everybody else in the world who does not change. That is the issue. Hey, Gen X, how you doing? I don't believe that they do change, but I'm going to hold off on changing the time on my post until tomorrow, because then I will just Google what time is it in London and it will tell me. So then I will know for certain. But no, the US, to my knowledge, is the only place that does daylight savings time. Let me know if you're anywhere else in the world. Do you guys do daylight savings time? Do you know any of the countries around you that do daylight savings time, that change, that go ahead and then fall back? And not every state in the US does it. There are actually some states where there are some pockets within the state that don't change. Now you want to talk about confusing. But Indiana is a state directly below me. They do not change. So they are currently, we are on the same schedule, but when we go daylight savings time, I will be an hour ahead of them. Oh, shoot. You guys have daylight savings time in Europe, but the dates are different. Gen X is saying the dates are different. Carmel, when does your daylight savings time go in effect? Do you know? Is it going to be before April 3rd? All right, definitely something I'm going to have to check out and figure this out. I know for certain whatever time you're on, it's going to be from 1:30 to 3:30, usually end of March, London time. So, okay. Well, it's either going to start at 8:30 or 9:30 my time. So you just have to, we'll just have to see. I'll have to look at it. Yes, usually before April 3rd. Okay. I'm going to assume then that we're still going to be at 5 hours. So it'll be 8:30 to 10:30 in the morning. If we don't stream, somebody told me April 3rd was a Thursday. If we don't stream, I will definitely be watching it, and I will probably go live thereafter. I'll look up London daylight savings time and see of the date just to make sure that it's the same. But it sounds like we're still going to be 5 hours then, 5 hours apart. All righty. Well, that's all I've got for today, guys. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. It changed from what we were going to talk about, but I promise next Saturday, I've already got the thumbnail just moved to next Saturday. We will be talking about, does trauma affect men and women differently? It should be a really interesting conversation. I have been learning so much throughout this. I mean, some of it I knew, I kind of had the basics down, but getting more into the details of men and women and the studies that have come out recently, there's some fascinating stuff out there. Truly, you will not want to miss it. And regardless of which category you fall into, you're going to learn something. There's been, I will give you one little tidbit, and this goes to not only research in psychology, but also research for hard science, say medical research, physiological research. One of the huge reasons that females have been studied less is because of our hormonal cycles. So when you're dealing with, say they're studying rats, not every one of those rats is their hormones. They're not going to all be within the same cycle. So it's much more difficult to keep the data, to have good, clean data. Let me put it that way. So the majority of time, they only use male rats or male mice because their hormones stay the same throughout the month. So there's a factor that you're taking off the table. And this has been one of the main reasons why when they've been doing testing and they're testing drugs and they're testing, how does this affect your system? How does that affect your system? It's all being based on men because we're using males because they don't have this hormonal factor that just kind of puts a monkey wrench in things. So I found that really fascinating. And one of the reasons that for women in particular, the last 5 years, where they've really started delving into doing studies with women, and in particular for women's health, because before there weren't the studies. I mean, the hormone factor is one of the huge things that we rely on, whether it's through our fertility years, whether it's our menopause years. It's what makes us us. It's what affects us, to a huge degree. And the fact that we haven't had studies before now, it's just mind-boggling. So it'll be a really, really interesting conversation. Crystal, I don't want to say for certain for science. When I know a fact, absolutely. That's my little saying. For certain for science. When you get a bunch of women together, there is a popular belief, there is anecdotal evidence that their cycles do match up. Anybody who has been in close proximity, lived in a dorm with anybody, if you went to college or boarding school or whatever it is, and you were around a lot of other women, and your menstrual cycles generally do sync up. I've pulled people into my menstrual cycles before, and they're like, "Wait a minute, I used to be 2 weeks that way. Now I'm back here. What the heck's going on?" So there's a lot of anecdotal evidence, but to my knowledge, and I could be wrong on this, but to my knowledge, science has not proven it. But Oh my gosh, is there anecdotal evidence? Yeah, saw it in the college dorms all the time. Absolutely. Mock says took 2 months for the girls' boarding school for the girls to sync up. Yep. And based on what I just said, is it any wonder that there's no science, potentially, no science proving this fact? Because we haven't studied. We haven't studied women's bodies, not nearly as much as it needs to be. So it's it's a really interesting topic. And it'd be, something that I'm interested in if there's been anything lately, now that they're really realizing how much there is to learn about women's bodies. So definite anecdotal evidence, though, is where I'll go with that. Hey, Echo, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, we're just ending this. So if you're interested in learning about things that you can do or what happened to me today, um, things to do when things go not as planned, you can check the rest of it out. Well, okay. So I'll say this before I go. Audrey says it only affects women, so science doesn't care. And yeah, I was real salty about the issue as well. About what? It's historically, medicine has been a male-dominated field, whether it's psychology or physiology. And my thought was, yeah, and so you've just studied men. What this researcher said about the reason why they were studying men versus studying women made so much sense. Not that it excuses the fact that there hasn't been more studies in regards to women, but in terms of getting clean data, in terms of keeping as many factors the same, except the one that you want to change, from a scientific standpoint, it made sense as to why they would research based on men. And I don't think until maybe 20 years ago that they really realized how different things can affect a woman's body simply because they are a woman. So there's a definite drive now to do more research into women, to understand how our hormones affect different things, how just the fact that we're made up of these hormones, how we have to have a heart medication. We can't take a statin that's meant for men. It doesn't work on women. For years, they just gave it to women, not realizing, no, we have to have a special formula because we're different. We're not just smaller in general, okay? We're not just smaller men. We're not just people with higher voices, We have significant physiological differences that make us who we are. And therefore, we need to um, we need to deal with it differently. I'm sorry, I was reading Mark's comment. That's something you definitely have to speak with your doctor about in regards to, medication and what to take. You'll want to find out, is this medication, is this something that has there been any research on its effect on the female body? And if it hasn't been, then that's a definite conversation you need to have with your doctor. And if you're taking it and it's not really working, well, its efficacy could be simply because it's not formulated for you. It's not formulated for a woman, regardless of weight differences. So certainly a conversation to have with your doctors about this. And this goes for all females out there. if you've got medication and you're taking it and it doesn't work for you, bring this issue up. It may simply be because the medication was formulated based on data in males, and it's just not transferable to a woman. So it's a huge area of research right now. Ramel, just speaking of women syncing their cycles up, he's like, oh my God, that's syncing PMS up at the same time. What a horror story, a whole sorority and PMS at the same time. I didn't think about that. I didn't really have emotional PMS. I didn't have that aspect. I had more just the physiological changes. So it was never a huge deal for me. So not every woman gets it. And of course, not every woman gets it to the same degree. But yeah, that could be a horror story. You know, there's a plot line for a horror movie. They all become serial killers or something. Oh God, that's hilarious. Oh, too funny, too funny. All right, guys. Well, thanks for stopping in with me today. Thanks for bearing with the last minute change. I really appreciate your willingness to stick around, even though the topic wasn't what you thought it was going to be. Tune in Wednesday for a conversation that I'm going to be having with Cosmic Christie. We're going to do a little interview and talk to her about some trauma-related topics. If you want more specificity on that, you're going to have to wait a couple days because Christy and I are still kind of figuring it out. But once I do, it'll be in the description. So you'll be able to look in the thumbnail description and get a better sense of what the conversation will be about. And then a week from today will be does trauma affect men and women differently? And then I'll need to figure out the Wednesday after that, and we'll see where we go. With that in mind, thank you guys again. I really do feel better for having done this. Support this community. It is what you make it, and you guys have made it great. Remember that you are worthy, you are valuable, and you are loved for who you are, just the way you are. Hugs and love from me. Have a great rest of your weekend. Surviving together, never alone. Bye, guys.